Hello, lovely people. I'm Shaq, and welcome. Before we get started today on our project, I wanted to share how I finished the stringing on the turtle. I gave him a little flower there on top of his head. He's got a flower hat. And I also wanted to share that this came together in kind of amazing to me. I didn't do any research or planning to make a turtle. I made a little face and I said, you know, that face looks like a turtle's face. And then I just started messing around and came up with something that, you know, looked like a decent looking shell. Anyway, since none of it was planned and the little arms and legs were not, there's nothing symmetrical or matching about them from one side to the other. They're kind of different. Anyway, so I'm surprised by things like he can sit really well and very balanced. And I will be posting pictures today of him in a crawling position. So his neck turns around in such a way that he has actually got a pretty good crawl position as well. It gets his little face is not on the, you know, forward like it is when he's sitting. All things that I didn't plan, but turned out really well. So, you know, that's more straight up there for sitting. It's just a fun accident. He's just turned out really cute. I also really like his little tail. I don't know if you can see that. That's part of the reason why he can sit, is because I added that tail and made it curved in the way that it is. It makes kind of a tripod, so he's able to sit. The other project that I have brought to a conclusion is the wig on this Kish doll, and I love it. It's very bright, and when the sun hits it, it glows. It's just so cool. She likes it too, and I believe we are going to call her Leona. I hope you like it too. I hope that it brings you some amount of joy. This wonderful, bright orange hair. Now we're gonna turn around the camera and get started on our project, which is tables for the living room over there. We need some place to set that cup of coffee when we bring it into the living room. This is the shape that I wanted the table to be, the tabletop. And it isn't what I ended up with, but it's still a really good design, and I want to show you how I got there. So I started with a compass, and I set it to 3 1/4 inches. So that measurement is like from one point to the curve, the opposite curve. And this takes a while. Maybe I should have preset that, right? So we'll just get out here. I think we'll just stop here at 3 inches because for the example, it doesn't have to be the same. So just place your compass on the piece of paper with enough, you know, border around it. Create an arc. Then go over to a point on the arc and create another arc. Now, this time it's important. You're going to go to where the 2 arcs cross and create that 3rd arc. And this should give you this shape right here. So what happened was I got the idea that I wanted to drill into these corners and set the legs in. And you need a drill press, really, and you need to drill them all at the same time so that it can go and be lined up. So I tried drilling and it didn't work by freehand. So I had to take the corners off because it just, it was a mess. Nothing matched up. And we're still a little bit off from each other, but close enough for this to work. So you could do this out of cardboard and it'd probably be easier. I know that my finish here is still a little rough. But we're going to take our 2 pieces and we are going to glue the legs on the top of the table in those 3 corners. We got our first snow of the entire, like, winter season, I think. I don't think we had snow before now. Which is, I guess, I'd like to say that it's unusual because we had so much snow living up here, but, you know, in the past years, but I actually think the snow is unusual. And we just had a run of it living up here. Okay, once those are in place, going to glue, without bumping them out of place, the next layer of the table, basically a shelf. We're creating a shelf on the bottom here. I don't know that it matters. I was kind of lining up the grain. I think I'll stick with that. Let's line up the grain. And then, once we've got that in place, I have little 1/2-inch pieces. So my original idea would have been to have the whole piece, down feet and all, in one long dowel. So it would have been, you know, the full length, and then just set into the pieces of the top and the shelf. But that didn't work out, obviously. So we're just going, I had to cut them apart. And now it might be a good idea. I don't know if I can do this without knocking something over, which you don't want to do. So you could just wait until the glue between levels is set up. But what we're doing is lining up the leg so that it looks like it goes through. And I may have very limited success with this. I want to apply pressure, but it wants to slide around. I feel like I've moved it off center. And that's basically it. Once you got your 3 legs on here, all you have to do is wait for it to dry. Well, this one was way off. So we've just smeared glue everywhere. I had to get myself a paper towel. And I kind of am leaving the glue around it. I maybe should clean that up, but... So an update on how the appointment went with the doctor was everybody was very respectful, very kind. And I have a whole lot of testing, so a whole lot more visits to do, so I'm not done with it. And I'm trying to not let it cause me a bunch of anxiety. Okay. We're gonna let that dry so you can see how I lined that up. And I have a second one to put together, and then I will show you what they look like in place. I probably won't finish them. I'm thinking of putting shellac on them is how I want to finish them. I decided to go ahead and shellac the top of this. I think our glue is there. Usually the shellac softens the brush and it becomes flexible. but I think it's going to take it a minute. So we're working with a very stiff brush. Working more like a squeegee. I'm curious how many of you have issues with anxiety in going to see medical professionals of any kind. Let me know. And if you don't want to say it in the comments, you could just email me through the website. Huh. Wow, the wood, the dowels are very yellow, and the wood for the top and the shelf here are more pink, I guess. More of a redwood. I should get a different brush and throw this one out. We're getting lots of dripping. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop and get a different brush. It's got some weird lines going in it. I think I'm going to end up kind of painting myself into a corner, having no way to hold on to this. Let's see. We'll get everything we can before we have to change how we're holding it. And I've painted the bottoms, and it's going to stick to the paper, most likely. I'm not sure I'm doing a thorough job here. That looks like it's done. I get this. Okay, now I have to set it down. Watch it pop around. And I think we'll be showing you in place in the dollhouse. It shouldn't take it that long to dry, so we'll be back with that. Well, here they are in place. We've got one over here, and there's one tucked in back there between. My goal here is to put a rug in the center, and I'm not sure how I want to make that rug. I don't have the right kind of canvas for doing cross stitch or needlepoint, which were my first thoughts. So I've got to dig through my fabric stash and see what I can do to come up with something that that I want to. I either am gonna have to find a piece of fabric that looks like a cool rug, or find something that I can embellish. Anyway, that's a project that is just sometime in the future. I borrowed all the books over here from the Blythe living room. And, well, not all of them, obviously. The Mamselle are supposed to be over here. But I am going to need to make up a lot more of the books, like the books I've got that are waiting to be put together and waiting to be printed and put together. But also, let me know if you're interested. I was thinking about doing some free books to you that where I design the cover, and then you can make up a book, and it doesn't have to have content. It can just be a shelf filler type book. And I was wondering if that's something you would be interested in. I could do like 1 page of written on the inside, like the beginning of the first chapter, you know, the intro page. But nothing more than that. Just keep it really simple to where it's mostly about the cover art and the spine. And I'm curious if that's something you would actually be interested in. I know I'll be doing it for myself, so I want to know whether or not it's worth it to make a listing so that you can share in the fun and not, you know, and it would be free. I wouldn't charge for that. Anyway, I hope that you had fun with this and you're encouraged to create your own little tables and explore different shapes. Step outside the square and the circle and try something different. I don't know if I'll use that shape again, you know, like I said, and keep it like I originally planned it, or if I'm going to just abandon that and come up with a whole new shape. But I have decided that there will be a studio apartment up on the next level and the closet. Those are the 2 things that I have narrowed down that absolutely would love to have. Also noticing that this shakes a lot more the taller it gets. So maybe earthquake zone up there by the time we get to the top, but we'll see. Maybe we can do something to stabilize my floor. I don't know. And I hope that you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.